Alright, so what we have here is this concept from Buildtronics, a startup company based in California that is trying to combine STEM education, including art now, so STEAM education, with the concept of board games. So what we have here is their prototype of their first game called Pot of Gems. So we get this pamphlet, and it shows us the story, the materials, and the value of all the gems, as we'll get onto later. So the story is that you and your friends are actually going through a hike in the woods. You decide to take a break and take some pictures with your new phone. However, you can't find it anywhere. Later, you see a small figure similar to an elf or a leprechaun running away with your phone. You try to run and catch him, but the phone is already gone. He says that I've hidden your phone in a pot of gems. I will give it to you and your friends. I will give you and your friends a minute to retrieve each of it. And if you do not, then it belongs to me, and if you do, it belongs to you. However, you can take gems from the pots in order to actually compensate for your phone. So the materials that we see that it comes with is this modular board, which is a 3D model. What it does is it actually is it is a skeletal structure of what the board game looks like. We get this headpiece that is actually based on the game, the leprechaun headpiece, but then we also get this headpiece on the back, which is blank, and you can design what you will with the headpiece given with dry erase markers. We get the circuits and the boards already given alongside with these, but we'll get onto that later. And then we finally get a piece of paper to keep track of the scores in general. Based on instructions provided, make sure the circuit works, and puts all the gems into the actual gem pot. So what we see here is a snapshot of what the circuit should look like. Again, since this is a prototype, I'm expecting that when the game comes out that there will be a set of instructions, but what we have right now is a base to go by. So what we can see is that the pot of gems is in the middle. Obviously there are no gems inside right now as we're setting it up, but eventually there will be gems inside. What we see is that the battery pack goes right on the side with the red connecting to the red, so let's do that right now. We see that now we use this modular piece actually to connect many of the other components into the actual game itself. So let's start with the buzzer. What we see is that on the component itself it says buzzer, and so we take the buzzer, we put it right between these cracks, and we place it down and it sticks. We see that we also then take the LED, put it between this corner and put it down, and we can see that it connects perfectly. And then finally we see the tweezers. However, the tweezers must be connected in order to finally put it down. So now what we do is we flip this over, we connect the red with the red, and now we put it back. Now what we have is we slowly put this modular piece down. We see that it fits perfectly into place, and now we do the rest of the connection. So we connect the black battery pack with the LED to create a circuit right here. We then connect the black part of the buzzer with the black part of the tweezer to see that we make a complete circuit. So as you can see, a circuit is coming together in which the actual buzzer will only go off when these metal tweezers are connected with the metal can. So let's test if our circuit works. So what we can see is that the buzzer is going off and the LED is in fact shining, which proves that the circuit works. So now what we can do is we can fill in these gems. All these gems are of assorted shapes and sizes, and they all fit together perfectly. Finally, the last step is to actually place the modular face over the actual pot. So what we see is a finished version where the bucket of the pot of gems is showing, the buzzer and the LEDs and the tweezers are all on top. So as we can see this is the face of the board game. The elf can set it up, or which would normally be the parent, but we can also see that children can take off the headpiece, take off the other pieces, and really see how the circuit works, which promotes the STEM aspect of this project. So now this is on. Let's pretend to be one of the players. I'm player 1, so let's try to get out a marble. As we can see, I successfully got out the marble, and let's see how many things we can get out before the buzzer goes off. Ooh. Oh, so what we can see is that when we try to get this red piece on the bottom, you simply can't because the buzzer goes off. And so I guess what that means is that my turn is done, and then we keep on doing this until finally all the pieces are gone. So as we can see now, I've actually gotten out all the pieces and put them back in the container, and the buzzer has only gone off. So what, again, when you touch the bottom, or when you touch the sides, what we can see is that the LED goes off. And so that signifies the end of the turn. Now, the entire other aspect of the game is where the child actually makes their own story. So this storyline is given about the leprechaun, but then what we can do is we can actually flip it over, and what we have here is a completely blank slate in which the children can actually make their own games. So what I was thinking was, I thought it would be very cool if we could have a dinosaur mouth right above the actual given container. And so what I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to be drawing out the dinosaur mouth, and what that will do is that will signify what this container might be. So actually, before the video, I took the time itself to actually create my own board game, to create my own view of this. And so what you can see is that I wrote Unlimited Fun. I made all these crazy designs. And so that is what is the art aspect, or the thinking aspect for the children, the creativity. They can create whatever they like, and they can make it into their own game, this without the storyline provided.